Take part 3 they ask direct material mix variance. Direct mix and yield variant, advanced variances. Right. Material mix variance and material yield variance. Mix variance and materials yield variance. So here see, so material mix variance, actual usage, actual mix, don't shout. Actual usage, standard mix. There is two materials A and materials B, right? Then you multiply by standard price, standard price. Okay, so actual usage and actual mix. Go to this question, see here. So here see, material A 1235, material B 687, right? So let's take here 1,235,000, 687,000. Copy this first. Then here actual usage into standard mix. 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 So I can say So material A 2 kilogram standard, material B 1 kilogram standard, right? So total usage of material, actual usage. Okay, 1002 3, sorry. So here see the material usage, actual usage to standard mix. So actual usage, working, try to understand here. See here, 1000 to 35,000 plus 687,000. This is A and B, both together 1922,000 kilograms. That is the total usage of material, but 2 kilogram use for A. Here total material usage is this much of kilograms, 1 kilogram use for B. So standard 1 kilogram to produce, right? Standard 2 kilograms to produce A material. So 2 divided by 3 and 1 divided by 2. So here the answer is 1281 333.3. Here 640,667.67. So you need to get this information. Standard mix for actual usage. For actual usage. Copy this. Copy this. Copy this. So here see, standard usage, actual usage to actual mix, they gave directly in the question the kilograms. But here you should take the standard into actual usage, standard mix, that only we did. So the difference, the difference need to be multiplied by standard price. Material A standard price is 180, material B standard price is 500. Material B standard price is 500, right? So now let's take 1 2 3 5 3 zeros, 1 2 3 5 3 zeros minus 1281,333.3. So 43 6,333 multiplied by 180, that is equals to 834030. This is favorable. Reason why I am telling favorable, standard we expected to use a mix of 1281 333 kilograms. Actually we use lesser than that. It is good for us. Next one, 687,000 minus 640 666.67. So here 23166 666.67. This is adverse. This is adverse because we expected to use 640. We actually used mix of 680. So if you take the variance, 14,826, 667.67 kilograms, that is adverse. Copy this. Copy this. Now, let's do the other part. Question number 4. Material yield variance. Material yield variance. So, write down fourth one. Write down fourth one. Material yield variance. Material yield variance. So material yield variance, we have two materials here. Total actual usage into standard mix. Total actual usage into standard mix. Multiplied by standard price. Multiplied by standard price. Copy this. So here see, actual usage 645,000 units. Here see 645,000 units. 645,000 units. And if you take the standard 2 kilograms and the 1 kilogram, so let's take that first. 645,000 units into 2 kilograms, 1293 zeros. 645,000 units into 1 kilogram, that is 645,000. Already we calculate actual usage into standard mix. Actual usage into standard mix. That is 1281, 1281, 333.33. Here 4333, 3, sorry, already we calculated 640,666.67. So this is already we calculated. Now the difference multiplied by the standard price 180 multiplied by the standard price 5. So actually how much material yield? See, 1281 triple three, but 1290. So what is the difference? What is the difference? Multiplied by 180, 1560,000. Favorable or adverse? It is favorable. Technically less material yield here. And also 640,000, 645,000 here multiplied by 500, 2166, 666.67. That is also favorable. Total material yield 3726,666.67. That is also favorable. So technically material we expected to yield as per the mix, and material actually copy this. Right. Next question. Yes. Yes, what's the doubt? See, the question is prepare operating statement to reconcile budget contribution with actual contribution. See, the variance is the difference between budget and the actual. So now they ask us to prepare the reconciliation statement. So write it down. Reconciliation statement, part B. These questions are repeatedly tested, Lamai. Therefore, try to understand the format, how we doing, right? Reconciliation statement. This is operational statement. So first we'll take budgeted contribution. First we'll take budgeted contribution. So budgeted unit 600,000 units, and the contribution let's take 165. Contribution is given 165. 165 given equals 99. So this is budgeted contribution. Then sales contribution volume variance, sales contribution volume variance, sales contribution volume variance. See, they gave the variance list in the question. They gave variance list in the question. 7,425. 7,425. 7,425. So after adjusting this, 106, 425. Right? Then direct material price, direct material mix, direct material yield. Right? This side adverse variance, this side favorable variance. This side adverse variance, this side favorable variance. So direct material price variance 3,550,000 given in the question. Mix variance 14,826,667. Yield variance 372,666.6. Then material variance is done, direct labor rate variance, direct labor efficiency variance. Direct labor rate variance and direct labor efficiency variance. Rate variance is also given in the question 3252. Direct labor efficiency variance 675,000 adverse. Then variable overhead expenditure variance, variable overhead efficiency variance, variable overhead expenditure variance and variable overhead efficiency variance. Expenditure variance 212,800 favorable given in the question, 330,000 favorable, 330,000 favorable. Sales contribution price variance, 12,900 we calculate. So these are the total favorable and adverse variance. If I take favorable total 7,308,667, adverse 32,164,467. If you want to score easily marks, just look at the format, because most of the questions they give, past papers, they give the variances. Even though whatever variance you calculated is wrong, it's given variance. If you write down, you will get some marks. So if you net it off these two, adverse and favorable, take the calculator. 32,164, 32,164, 467 minus 73,08,667. So 2,4,855,800 adverse variance. And finally 81,569,200. This is we call actual contribution. So standard to actual, standard to actual. Copy this. Copy this. Copy this. Right. Now, students, next question. Next question is process account. Lamai, do you want me to do the process account also? Did you all try process account? Process account is straightforward question. That's why I'm asking. Then I can move to the next fast paper. Okay. So write down question number 10 here. Total Limited manufactures and sells product T2 through several consecutive process. The input process 2 is given below. Okay, the details are given. And they ask us to prepare, double it, double it. So here see, question, they ask us to prepare equivalent units and the process account. So let's start this. Part A, let's start statement of equivalent units. Statement of equivalent units. So statement of equivalent units. So in the question, so if I go to this question, see here, input is transferred from process 1 given, direct labor, variable overheads given. There were 3,200 meters opening work in progress, material labor. So the details are given, stage of completion is given, material labor and variable production overheads. So I'll use the same format. EU details, material, labor, variable production overhead, right? So here students, first I'll take inputs. So inputs material 35,200, input labor 35,200, variable overhead 35,200 because it is 100%. See here, inputs 35,200. 35,200 meters. Copy this. That is input. And there is an opening work in progress, closing work in progress. Here they gave closing work in progress details. So we should take that also. Closing work in progress. If I take closing work in progress, 4,800 material because it is 100% completed. 3,120 because it is 60% completed. 1,440 because it is 30% complete. Copy this. Stage of completion is given. Lamai, here they gave abnormal loss salts. Abnormal loss units you need to take. Right here, see, in the question, normal loss is 5% from the input. Normal loss is 5% from the input. Normal loss is 5% from the input. There is an abnormal loss. There is an abnormal loss. How to get abnormal loss? Input minus normal loss equal to expected output and actual output. Actual output and expected output different. Okay. So here see, input is 43,200. Normal loss is 5% of input, which is 40,000, which is 2,000. Right. So 40,200, 41,200. But actual output is 35,200. Closing work in progress, they said it is 4,800. So 41,200 minus 4,800 minus 35,200 equals 1,200 is what? Abnormal loss. 1,200 is what? Abnormal loss. So abnormal loss is 1,200. Copy this working. Copy this working. So 1,200 is abnormal loss. 1,200 is abnormal loss. So I'll take abnormal loss here. 1,200, 1,200 and 1,200. So if there is an abnormal loss, when you are calculating equivalent unit, take out throughout the period. Reason, material also it's there, labor also it's there, overheads also it's there. 1,200. Now let's calculate the equivalent unit. Equivalent unit is equals to 35,200, 35,200, 4,800, 1,200, 41,200. 35,200, 3,120 plus 1,200, 39,520. Next one, 35,200, 1,440, 1,200, 37,840. 37,840. All these we call equivalent units. All these call equivalent units. So what is the question they ask? Prepare statement of equivalent units. They ask us to prepare the statement of equivalent units. So equivalent unit is calculated. Now let's take the cost also. The cost details are given. Cost details are given. Material cost is 4,460,000. 1,560,000. Labor overhead 814,675. 814,675. This is your process cost. And they gave opening work in progress cost. They gave opening work in progress cost details. Opening work in progress, if you take that detail also directly given, see 506,800, 87,984, 14,021 directly given. Most of the information in the process costing is straightforward and direct. Right. So here see 506,800, 87,984, 14,021. 14,021. But try to understand one thing in terms of material losses are you can scrap. It is given here. Losses you can scrap. See, scrap value of the normal loss is 135 per meter. There is a scrap. So normal loss can be scrapped. That should be reduced cost. I told you normal loss scrap value will reduce input cost. So normal loss is 2000 units, meters or whatever. Scrap value is 135. I told you normal loss exists means that normal loss will reduce by the scrap value of normal loss. Again, cost of input is reduced by the scrap value of normal loss. 2000 units here and the scrap value is 135. We scrapped at 135 per unit. So 135 multiplied by 2000, it is 135 multiplied by 2000 equal to 270,000. Your material cost will reduce. Your material cost will reduce. Now students, we can end up with the cost. Yes, it's WAC method. FIFO method means they should specifically mention. FIFO method normally they should specifically mention. So here see. So here see 270, 4,696,800. 1,560 my plus 87,984. So that is 1,647,984. Here 828,696. 696. Now the cost is done. Now the cost is done. Now what we should do is cost per EU. Now what we should do is cost per EU. So 4,696,800 divided by 41,200. 1,647,984 divided by 39,520. 828,696 divided by 37,840 EU. All these are equivalent units already we calculated. Now let's take 4,696,800 divided by 41,200. So that is 114 per EU. Here 41.7 per EU, here 21.9 per EU, equivalent unit. Equivalent unit. This is the equivalent unit statement. Lamai, this is the equivalent unit statement. Complete this. Complete this.